Hi, this is KJ Sharp for Turning Points. This is number 6 in the series. I'll be uploading 5 and 6 at the same time. Hopefully, you can catch both of them. Um, if you haven't seen Turning Points before, you can start at number 1 and follow us through to number 6. Tonight, I'm going to be actually reading from a book called Broken and Spilled Out, an Abuse Recovery Journal that I've written in. Hopefully you guys will be able to get it in December and buy it for your loved ones for Christmas, for anyone who is struggling, who has been the victim of abuse and is struggling, or who is in an abusive relationships and is struggling. Um, so I'm going to read a piece called Light in Darkness. Why are you afraid of the dark? You are light. Don't you know darkness and light are the same to you? This piece I kind of wrote after I've been driving through the tunnel on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge. I hate tunnels. I've despised them for years. I don't even know when I became afraid. The first time I drove through the Hampton Tunnel in Virginia, I cried all the way through. I was so terrified. The closeness of cars driving alongside of me or those hurling toward me, blinding lights flashing, the walls feeling like they're closing in all around and over me sends me into a complete panic. And if there are big trucks involved, the panic increases 100-fold. But I love bridges. The Chesapeake Bay Bridge, that million-mile wonder of the world, is my favorite. Watching the wildlife flying around, the waves up so close and slightly dangerous, the feeling of riding up like into heaven on a foggy day. It relaxes and thrills me at the same time, but that all ends when I approach the first tunnel. My one goal is to fly through the tunnel as fast as I can, holding my breath until I see a light. On June 13, 2016, I was a passenger in a 4-car collision. Emotionally exhausted from a very trying day, I went to lunch with an acquaintance of mine. I fell asleep on the way home. Unfortunately, so did the driver. For me, the result was 4 fractured ribs, a fractured finger, excruciating back and shoulder pain, and a year of physical recovery. What also followed was my increased anxiety every time I so much as sat in a car. The front seat passenger side was a terrifying place for me. I closed my eyes to ride and often held back tears or let them go depending on how severe the anxiety was. I opted most often to sit in the back. I'd read, write, or otherwise occupy my mind in the back seat so I wouldn't look at or see the road. I've always loved long drives. A single mother of 5, long drives, even with the children, often gave me quiet time and peace of mind. So it was that 1 year after my accident, I decided to take a leap of faith, face my fear, and drive from Chester, Pennsylvania to Chesapeake, Virginia, leaving home at 10 o'clock p.m. I drove through the night. The 4.5-hour drive took me nearly 6.5 hours. Oddly enough, driving through the dark didn't scare me as much as driving through the tunnel. I approached the tunnel with my heart beating rapidly in my mouth, panic rising. My hands began to sweat. My heartbeat knocked ferociously against my chest. I felt the quick, sudden pains of an oncoming migraine. Felt like I couldn't breathe, like I was going to pass out. It was then that I heard a voice, audibly, say to me in the most calm and clear manner, "Why are you afraid? You are light. Darkness and light are the same to you." I had just started reading a book called Light Workers in an attempt to find renewed purpose for my life. After my son's death, God and I weren't exactly on speaking terms. I needed to understand my purpose in the world and what this life thing was all about. I had done all types of research on life after death, understanding purpose, even remembering writing down what I believe was the purpose for my life. I was about 26 years old when I first wrote that my purpose is to bring light and life to everyone I meet. So being a light worker made absolute sense to me. And so did the voice I heard. You are light. Think about it. If we are light, then there is no darkness that can overcome us. Light shines in darkness. I believe we do all come here as lights. The object is to let your light so shine that those who have lost theirs may find the way. What the way is for everyone is different, but can you imagine what would happen if we would all just be light? How much less darkness there would be in the world? Be light in darkness. Let your own light shine. Good night.